Hello, Victor.
Hi, Mono.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing awesome,
Yeah.
actually.
Victor is a upcoming Swedish lo-fi artist who goes by the name of 16% SUMO. I meet him occasionally but never really talked so much about music production, which is something he only recently got into. Here's how our conversation went. Yeah, slept early for a change. So woke up early and yeah, the usual.
Mm, cool.
Um, I've been listening to a lot of your Spotify tracks and watching your YouTube videos. And I think I have probably heard which one is that? Okay, so Crackles and Futures at
Mm,
least 20 times. Let's
mm.
start with you. What DAW do you use?
I currently, and the only DAW that I've ever used is Reaper. So
Mm-hmm.
just to backtrack a bit, I haven't actually been producing uh, a lot of, well, of my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I've been drumming. I've been a drummer for forever.
Yeah.
But I haven't been using a DAW since. But I started this. What was it? August 2021 or something like
Wow.
that. So that was where I grabbed Reaper, and
What made you
you know,
wait to experiment with digital sounds? Were you a hardcore drummer?
yeah, I've been drumming has been my main instrument, and it has always been like the main passion or whatever when it comes to music. So I've been like in my teenage years, I practiced a lot and played with my bands that I had, and it was just I was mainly focused on drumming. I had some singer-songwriter things that I was fiddling around with, but I
Yeah.
didn't really. I did enjoy it in the beginning, but then after a while, I felt like me and the guitar, it's pretty limited in a sense. Uh, so, but when it comes to using DAWs, it was I'm a bit of a technophobe, which is ironic since I'm a teacher in physics and like engineering and things.
Okay.
But I'm actually a bit of a technophobe, not like hugely, like, but I'm a bit like it feels awkward when fiddling around with digital things, and when it comes to DAWs, where there's uh, like a big like initially a quite steep learning curve.
Yeah.
I was afraid of that for some reason, so I
Yeah.
didn't feel like I could be creative as fast as I wanted to.
Yeah.
So I remember I downloaded Reaper like like a couple of years ago, and I was like, this is overwhelming. I can't I can't do
Yeah.
this. So I just didn't use it, and I don't know what it was, but uh, started using it in August, and been having a lot of fun since then. And
It's been
yeah,
7 months only. That's if I'm counting on my fingers right now.
uh,
Hardly anything.
yeah, that's not much.
And you're already, yeah, you're already putting tracks out on Spotify. That's pretty good, I think, for a musician. I'm kind of the other way around. I picked up the guitar and probably wasn't the first choice of instrument. I mean, like I feel sometimes I should have probably picked up drums because I tap on every little thing I get my hands on. But because I was singing in a band, the lead singer, and then I just kind of watched the other people play.
Mm.
I started with that, but then immediately I think I started getting into DAWs. Like I was using Fruity Loops and Cubase and SoundForge and kind of had that progression over like 15, 17 years now. And
What was the band
maybe
you? What was the band you were singing in? Was it like a rock band or what was it?
it was a high school band. We were doing like songs for like we would sing for weddings and a mix
Oh,
of
okay.
everything. We would do the Guns covers. So we would do Guns N' Roses. We would do
Mm.
Lady in Red,
Oh,
for
okay,
the bride
okay,
and
okay.
groom when they. So we had like we did some. Yeah, I was highly inspired by grunge and alternative music. So I loved the '90s. So
Mm.
that's something that I kind of you can kind of feel it in all my music. But it's
Same
yeah,
here, by
that's
the way.
yeah, nice.
I've always loved it. Like, I actually played in a like an alternative kind of grunge outfit, which I don't know if you've heard it. Ikiryu. It's a band that I had. or I have, but we are not playing currently. We're on a bit of a hiatus. But
I
yeah,
think I saw
grunge
you all
is
play once, or was it when? Oh no, no, you had finished playing. I saw you guys when you were having the after, not after party, but you guys were
mm,
in this other city. Where were we? Alvesta? You guys were all
uh,
sitting in a cafe and having
yeah,
pizza.
yeah, but that's my new band,
It's a new
Final Day
band, okay.
Society. Yeah, so yeah,
Okay.
that's another band.
And that's a different genre, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, the band that you're referring to is like a post rock band. So it's I don't know if you're familiar with that genre,
A little,
but
yeah,
it's yeah. So it's
yeah,
like I don't know, cinematic rock or something like
yeah,
like some spin-off of Pink Floyd, but
yeah.
more
Like
modern sounding.
lengthy leads, lengthy outros,
Yeah,
lengthy,
yeah,
yeah, intros.
like like 10-minute songs or something,
Yeah,
or more. Mm.
nice. So you had post rock. Oh, sorry, what do you call it? It's post rock, right? The
Yeah,
genre. And what are the other genres? What's the first band you said? That was
yeah. The first band is called Kiru, and I mean I don't actually know what genre it it should fit into, but we always refer to it as some kind of experimental grunge noise
yeah,
kind of thing. Very noisy, uh, but a lot of fun. So, but I mean the sentiment or like yeah, the feel was grunge. I mean that was what we were inspired by at least. Uh,
yeah,
uh, and a lot of experimental music as well. So yeah, we did a lot of uh, interesting things. I'll send you uh, that some songs with that.
sure.
I think you'll like it.
Yeah, it's funny because we come across each other on other sort of social cliques. Kandombe is the only one, and we play drums, but we never talked about our inspiration, talk about math or, or teaching or
Yeah.
philosophy or something or the other. And then, but it's only now when I heard the tracks, it was literally just out of the blue that I started singing along one of the tracks also. And
Hmm.
so I was like, okay, this is I have a phone recording, and I didn't want to
Hmm.
send it to you because I was like, nah, you know how it is,
Do
imposter
send it
syndrome.
though. So
Yeah.
you're referring to this to the beat called Future that I have on Spotify, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll send you that because I thought you meant like that I should send you a completely different beat that we can
Okay.
do a
Yeah, yeah.
collaboration,
Either
which
way,
we can also.
we
I
can
don't know.
also, yeah. The melody was similar to, or maybe the chords were, the similar to this track that and it's probably the only track that I've never worked on. Also, like
Mm.
I never, it was just it's always been an acoustic track,
Hmm.
and it was written because I think when the Syrian refugee crisis was going on, and the kid who was washed ashore
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all over social media.
Of course.
So that stock sort of image inspired it, and then I wrote it. And then now, more currently, with the Ukrainian crisis, and
Yeah.
I was thinking it might. I kind of wrote while listening to it. I just did improv, and I
Mm.
started singing something, and I could just maybe it's fresh because of the Ukrainian crisis. So I started
Yeah.
putting new content over it, and I was like, huh, this is interesting. It's just kind of like revisiting an old track, but I have some new feelings for it. So
Mm.
let's see. That would be interesting.
I'll send you it after our call.
Yeah.
Uh,
Let
but so
me.
the thing that I sent you is just if you feel inspired by that beat, you could put something on that as well.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But I'll totally I'll send that also.
Cool. Yeah, Sparkles is another one. I've been humming something that's more of a sort of a romantic ballad. But there's always, like everyone hears different things. Like you might hear something that I'm singing, you might hear a different beat for it, for example. So there's always
Mm.
uh, our own iteration. So it's nice. I'll let you know every time
Mm.
I hear something. At least this is the first time, by the way. I'm not really. Attempted a collaboration. That's like I just pitched it to you, and I think it'll be interesting to at least
At least try,
think
yeah.
tinker with it. Yeah, let's see where it goes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Do you play any other instruments besides drums? Or?
So I play acoustic guitar,
Okay.
uh, but I'm like pretty much self-taught. So uh, I guess I was like was I 18 or something? I bought an acoustic guitar, and then I didn't know any chords or something. I just went by ear,
Yeah.
and still do actually. I know some theory, but not a lot. So mostly by ear. And the singer songwriter things I did was also by ear.
Hmm.
So I play guitar, and you know I I've held a bass guitar, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I can play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I play a bit of keys also. So
Okay.
piano or yeah.
Yeah. I think yeah, it's all the right ingredients for production. You know, I wish I could play a little more of. I wish I could if I had picked up drums and if I had picked up the keyboard at least or the piano, it would
Mm,
have. I can play notes, but I don't know chords. So I
mm.
usually have to. It takes a while to construct them, and I like one by one, each note by note, and I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
but in my head it makes sense. So and again, I'm not classically trained either, and I
Mm.
probably my only regret is that I wish I had studied music. But I hear the opposite also. I've heard people who study music, they're like, don't ever study music again. You know, like it'll kill your
Yeah,
creativity.
yeah,
It's like, okay, ooh, I don't
yeah.
know.
I've
Um,
also heard a lot of like different things about that, which is like some people feel like it's as you say that it somehow killed their creativity,
yeah,
but for some it actually excels them in a way, like it actually pushes them to another level.
yeah,
Uh, since you can be because you can be more theoretical about it, you can be like, okay, I'll take this chord since it then can lead to this one, and
yeah,
so it has a more like more structured approach. Uh,
yeah,
because I as like for me, it's just going by ear. It's just guessing. I'm just playing something, reacting to it, and then doing something with it. And that's like that heuristic kind of approach. I like it, but it's sometimes it can be tedious.
yeah.
So I have my cheat codes. Uh,
Mhm.
we maybe might talk about later, but
Yeah, yeah.
I have my cheats.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's kind of nice to know that because most of the musicians, well, not most actually, yeah. I have met people who've been classically trained and have not been able to just do improv. Like they can't jam with you. And that was my first realization. I was like, wait a minute, how is it difficult for someone who studied music to just, you know, and the person was like, no, it's just in my head. I need my notes. So I was
Mhm,
like, that was like kind of an eye opener moment, you know, like, oh, maybe it's good I didn't study music because
mhm,
I don't know if it would have limited me, but um, it can be, it could have had benefits in terms of, yeah, you can write your notes down, write your songs down in like a, what's it called? What do you call it?
uh,
When you write your
uh,
notes,
yeah, what's it,
we
a
don't even know that.
partitud? In Swedish,
Mm,
it's partitud. I don't know
hmm.
part. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, I can't remember. In Logic, you actually have that. It's like a transcriber. I think it's called
Ah,
transcribing. Yeah.
mm.
So it lets you
Yeah,
do that. So
transcribe
that's,
notes. Yeah,
yeah. Do you have that? I don't know if it's there in Reaper or not.
I would guess that
There
there
probably is in
is
every
because
DAW.
Reaper is yeah, and it's a massive. It's massively like uh, yeah, it has a lot of content, so it probably exists somewhere
You know
in
what?
Reaper.
One thing that really impressed me, I haven't used Reaper, and I was watching one of your uh, streams, and I
Mm.
think you did a contest. You made a beat for a contest,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and on that video, and I think I can still remember it. It's on the 40-minute mark. Like
Hmm.
if you skip through it, and it's you actually used you played no you played the you played a shaker afterwards. You think you played wooden sticks before that, a clav,
Yeah, yeah.
and you're playing it over and over on a loop, right?
Hmm.
And then you went glue item or glue track or
Yeah, yeah,
something. I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, what the hell? What just happened?
Yeah.
And because I was like, I've never seen that. I'm not. I maybe. I mean, maybe it's there in Logic, and I've just never come. It's never come across my radar.
Mm,
But I was really like, wow, that is such a cool thing to have. Like, you can play something and then kind of quantize your
mm.
notes, so they kind of, if you're playing a MIDI.
Yeah. so it fits to the grid
Yeah, but this
and things.
a gluing thing I've never seen, and maybe
Mm.
there is one, but and so that
Yeah, I
was
don't
like
know.
that was cool. I need to check it out in Logic.
I think it's the word might be different, but what it is just so the looping thing is that you loop takes, and usually I just take the last take that I felt okay, this was good, and then
Hmm?
I just click it, and then glue item is just okay, this is the take that I'm going with, so it just
Oh, it didn't
erases all the
glue.
other.
What I thought it did was because I thought, okay, you might have had some off time ones, and then you had
Ah,
the
you
right
thought
time
it
ones.
was a quantization
I
thing.
thought it picked from all the takes the right times.
Ah, okay,
You know
okay.
what I mean? I thought that
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
really like next level AI stuff, kind of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, but it was not that though.
okay,
So,
so
but there is a
you
like
just
a
did a really good take towards the end, basically. You
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
nailed it. Ah, I
yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah. That's how it was.
Yeah,
Being a drummer since 13 so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
tight.
Nice. Oh, that would be maybe that's a nice takeaway for someone if some coder who works for Logic or any of the DAWs working, take away
Mm,
for them
yeah.
to try and create something like that. I don't know. It's interesting, and it's also nice because as newbies to other softwares,
Mm,
you kind of think about, oh, what just happened, because
yeah.
and I didn't know what glue means also.
Yeah.
So but that was cool. I mean, I did browse through, which is proof now that I did
Mm,
browse through your YouTube channels,
yeah,
and
yeah. Cool.
apart from the Spotify, yeah, it was cool. I saw this. There was a music video which I think you've done, someone has done for you, a collab, or I'm not sure. I think I did click on the person's uh, channel, and I think I saw one video. And
Mm,
this is me with a really bad memory now,
mm.
but some cool things, man, you're doing, like really just, and they're all kind of within a span of last few months, since you've been.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been yeah,
So
most
how do
of
you
it is
balance
just
this
like
out?
a
You do, sorry, I cut you off there.
no, 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 no problem.
Now I was just going to ask you, how do you, as an artist, how do you balance you said you teach, and so how do you balance this kind of day job and not night job, but like your music,
Mm.
love for music? How do you do
S-
this?
So actually, I think in a way I'm pretty spoiled when it comes to time
Hmm.
because I do work, but I don't work full time. So I work right now it's like 84%, which is a weird number, but I work 84%.
Okay.
That's so it's so I'm there the whole week and like every day from Monday to Friday. Um, but again, I don't have kids right now, and my girlfriend she does her thing, and we hang around we hang out in the evenings and things like that, but she minds her business, and I sit and fiddle around with my things.
Yeah.
So usually it's like I'm working, and then I get home, I sit down at a computer. Usually I browse through YouTube, like the subscriptions that I have there, and then I watch something and I'm like, oh, that was cool. Now and then I get some kind of inspiration. It's
Yeah.
usually that's the like the workflow or whatever.
Yeah.
So get home and I just start the computer, and usually it's the first thing I do is start making something.
Yeah.
Uh, some things are half made, and then I'm like, okay, that wasn't that good, and then I turn it down and do
Yeah.
something else. Um, but so when it comes to balance, I don't think what like one part of it is that I feel like I don't need to balance it. And the second part is that I don't think I'm balancing it because the
Mhm.
last few months, as you said, I've been really productive. I know that myself. I've been releasing things and putting things out on YouTube, and that's just like my personality. When I get hyped about something, I would want to do it a lot.
Mhm.
It's the same thing with my training, like jujitsu. I was talking about. We've been talking about that before.
Yeah.
I was like, this is amazing. I want to do this all the time. So I worked out 4 4 days a week. I don't
Yeah.
do that right now, but now it's like 2 or 3 times a week. But so that's just my personality in a way.
Yeah.
So I don't really think there is a balance right now,
Hmm.
if I'm gonna be honest. I just
Mhm.
I just I'm in some state of, being hyped
Yeah.
still. So I'm just riding that train. I'm trying to be consistent though. I try to make a beat a day, like at least start to make something, and then
Hmm.
if I'm like, okay, this I didn't feel this beat, then I just you know go on
Right.
with my life. So that's pretty much how it is.
Hmm. Yeah, I was looking at it more like from an economic perspective. I think there's
Mm.
everyone, most musicians will always say that they're struggling artists, and or most artists will say they're struggling artists because it's hard to earn an income and from it, and presumably you're not earning an income from the music right
No,
now,
no,
right?
no, 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 no.
So that's what I meant. Like so you do need to balance it out from an economic perspective with the
Yeah.
day job because that helps you sort of support your love for music if you want to like you said, you just bought those VSTs and those kind of things and
Mm.
just
Yeah.
I don't know basics, putting food on the table.
Yeah.
So that's and I've been thinking about that. I almost the concept of a struggling artist is also a bit overused just for artists because I think everyone's struggling at some point.
Yeah.
Like
Of course.
anyone is struggling. So who's who's trying to put food on the table at least. So that's like and if you're not putting any kind of content or art out there, it doesn't make it less of a struggle or whatever, right? So
Mm.
but I feel like at least as far as the industry is concerned, because a lot of people think that it's easy to make money. You put even if you put stuff out on Spotify or whatever that,
Mm.
but I think the percentages, and I think we've had briefly touched on this topic that
Yeah. Yeah.
it's really hard to even over YouTube monetization, and there's really no platform out there that is sort of pro artist or just gives the biggest stake to the artist. No, it's always like you get the short end of the stick,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
I don't think it stops us from doing what we do. I don't.
No.
Yeah.
I totally agree with the. I mean, we could have a conversation about the industry like for hours, and I'm actually not that like uh, how do you say? Now my English is being challenged here, but uh, so I don't know a lot about the industry, but uh, I know that like with Submit Hub or other promotion kind of companies that are out there, it's exactly as you say, you pay something, but you never get a return on investment, like at least not short term, and long term is really, uncertain, especially for instance for me who's I'm like in a like the genre that I'm in is like lo-fi hip hop, uh, like the lo-fi hip hop community, and there's a lot of competition. I mean, there's artists who are just killing it, and there are, I don't know how many artists there are, but there are a lot of them. So the competition is also it's very competitive in a way.
Yeah.
So I do agree that there is it doesn't seem like there's any platform which are on the musicians side, uh, at least not like in the sense that it gives us back something for like when it comes to the economic perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what is it like? Spotify is like 0.003
Mm.
per like
Percent. Yeah.
uh, per percent or something of a stream. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
it's really it's really nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
so
Have you heard of Audius?
you mentioned it, but we never talked about it.
Yeah.
Like you never explained what it was.
I've got it on my phone. It's nice. It's got a really nice songwriter section when you go to genres, and
Mm,
it's kind of like SoundCloud. So you don't need to go through anyone. You just upload and it's there. And it probably is getting the prediction or whatever the sort of projections for this app is that it will compete or be at par with Spotify in a few years.
mm,
So they went from like 30,000 to 300,000 visitors per month over the last year.
mm,
And the difference between that and Spotify is that it's open source.
mm,
So, and by open source, it means like the drawback is that if you post something and
Mm.
somebody duplicates that and just posts
Mm.
it, you have to literally write to each person to pull it down, or to write to Audius to take that
Ah,
down individually. Like you don't have like you don't, it doesn't automatically give you a copyright sort of signature because it's
yeah,
open source.
yeah.
So that's the only drawback I see. And you do get points, and they'll, I think over time they will start converting this into some kind of currency.
Mm.
So like people will maybe, I don't know, I think there's these kind of Audius points, but it doesn't have any value to it right now. But
Ah,
they're
okay.
saying that over time, once they have enough, they will start to convert it to some kind of a exchange, a better exchange of revenue.
Okay.
So that's been, I'm following. I mean, Dead Mouse is one of
So
the
how do you spell
leaderships.
it? How do you
Uh,
spell it? Audius?
Audius. Yeah, that's so. I'm also in the same shoes as you are, perhaps a few months before you started release, where I'm thinking of putting content, but I'm also holding back, thinking,
Mm.
do I need to even? And also, I don't have finished. I think I try and pack in too much into my tracks. It starts with an acoustic and then just layering and layering and layering.
Mm.
And then, and that rabbit hole of never finishing
Yeah,
a
yeah.
track. Um, I kind of have a few which I feel like they're near completion and I should start putting them out.
Mm.
So I was thinking of Audius, but the only thing
Mm.
holding me back is this copyright thing,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
which again I feel is okay if someone wants to redo it, they redo it, as long as they kind of do a different version of it. Like yeah,
Yeah.
do a remix, do a lo-fi, do a whatever drum and bass. Uh, um,
But yeah,
uh,
that's just to talk about that for a moment. I mean, I I've been talking to I have a lot of friends who are musicians, and I think that's an interesting thing that we have such a hard time. I'm not saying that you have it, but that we're having such a hard time releasing our music.
yeah,
Um, because and it's so many things that come into play, as you say. If you put it out on Spotify, will it be worth it? Like that's a question you could
yeah,
ask. Or will anyone listen to it? Of course, that's also a question. You want people to listen to your music.
yeah,
um, and it's a really difficult thing because I have a lot of friends who are amazing musicians, at least to my ears, and
yeah,
uh, and haven't been releasing, or for some reason don't.
mm,
And I think that's interesting because I've never. Sometimes I feel like I don't have don't have any judgment. Like I'm just releasing it
yeah,
and letting people react to it in a way.
yeah,
So sometimes I feel maybe I should, be a bit careful because
yeah,
maybe the things I put out are shitty or whatever. But at the same time, if it makes me happy, I'll why not release it,
yeah,
Because I know it's not the highest quality, especially my first EP. I listen to it now, and it's like
yeah,
I don't think it's like really that. When I compare it to other similar artists, it's like
mm,
the mix isn't that good. There's no mastering process. Like it's you know but it makes me happy, so i just I just release it,
yeah,
but and I know that I won't. I'm currently, when it comes to the economic thing right now, I just feel like I probably won't uh, you know or get a return on my investment ever. So
yeah,
I need to approach it more as a thing that I do for me,
yeah,
and hopefully for others as well. You know,
yeah,
so as to me, it's worth uh, everything that you just said. Oh, I listen to this song on repeat. Uh,
yeah,
that means a lot. I mean, that means everything. That
yeah,
a single person would do that ever and listen to my music. That's amazing. I mean,
yeah,
when it comes to time, I mean, everyone has their things and the stuff of life. They need to uh, uh, get out and play with the kids, and they need to go to work, and then they're off to training, and then they're doing their hobby thing. Why should they ever listen to my music? That's what I'm asking sometimes.
mm,
So that there are people listening to it is amazing to me. I
yeah,
mean, it's humbling, you know.
yeah,
So uh, so I feel like that has to be enough for me, because I feel like I won't ever, I will never get like a similar, you know, economic input as with my work. That would never happen, I think. But maybe I'm pessimistic. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
no,
just feel I still think in the current environment, I don't think it's very difficult because you need to be like a social media uh, like persona. You need to
yeah,
branding and all of that stuff, and that's not easy. Uh,
no, it's a whole different, and that, I think it's 80% of the work is that now for
mhm,
people who are doing it because they spend a lot of time doing that like outreach work,
mm,
making sure your Instagram and I mean all your social media is updated. And I'm actually looking at people and following some to just to see, okay, how should I do? And they're like, no, you have to
mm.
do a pre-release and then you do set this
Yeah, yeah.
and it's a lot of work.
Mm,
And that's somehow because that then you have to compromise with the amount of time you put into your creative process.
yeah.
So that's the only thing that, like you said, you come back home and you switch your computer on and
Mm,
you wait for that moment where you can just get back into the thing you love, right?
yeah.
And imagine somebody has to say, no, no, now we're going to write an email to all the your subscribers and we're going to send a pitch for the next. You'll be like, I don't want to do this. Like
No, 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 no.
it's a lot of work. It's effort and it's not naturally coming to you. There are people who love doing that
Mm,
also.
mm.
um, uh, so
I mean
yeah.
that's interesting though because I feel like when it comes to promotion right now,
Yeah.
I have been putting a bit some money into promotion as well, like with Facebook ads. I've been trying it out,
Okay.
and
How did
so
it go? Just curious because I don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
anything about it.
I mean it. I did like one campaign which was mainly focused on Instagram actually. So I just so I tried to do like a pre-save campaign.
Hmm.
So on DistroKid, if you didn't know, they have like a hyper follow. So uh, like a link that your fans can click on, and
Hmm.
then they can pre-save your track to Spotify. So
Okay.
when it's released, it will immediately show up on their release radar or what it's called.
Right. Right. Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
and so I've heard that that's one of the most efficient ways of you know getting the algorithm to work for you.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true, but I tried it out,
Yeah.
and I didn't get a lot of pre-saves, and I don't know.
Mm.
I don't have a way of like actually uh, what's it called, like seeing if it worked or
Yeah.
at all. But
I
uh,
I wonder if there's a YouTuber whose channel is called like How Algorithms Work, and
yeah,
we should basically just be following this person. Like, okay, so
yeah,
for Instagram algorithm, do this, whatever. Are
yeah.
you on
But
TikTok?
no, I'm not actually.
Okay.
That's a part I haven't yet fiddled around with, but probably might look into at some point. I didn't think I would look into Instagram if I'm gonna be honest, but now
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram and I'm actually using it a bit at least.
Okay. That's
So
something I have to check out. I haven't seen your Instagram yet.
mm.
I
so
I tried a TikTok
mm,
just to see how the algorithms work, and I was
mm.
shocked. I was literally shocked. I just had like it was Earth, no, it was Water World Water Day, and
uh,
I went to the bathroom and I just kind of recorded something with the tap dripping, and it's called
yeah.
Water Runs Dry. This old song from Boys to Men. It's like a
Oh
R&B.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So
I know
so I
that.
thought, yeah, it's appropriate for Water Day, and I posted in 2 hours before I sleep. I just opened TikTok, and I have only installed like recently, so I don't even know
Mm,
how to fully use the app even.
yeah,
And there's 40 people who've already checked it out,
yeah.
and by morning it was 200 and something. So
Mm.
I haven't hit 100 people on my YouTube maybe in 2 years on some
Yeah,
videos, right? And this is overnight, and I was like, what is
mm,
this algorithm doing even, like, and why is
mm,
YouTube not doing this or whatever, right? Like
mm,
it's really strange.
mm.
um uh, the sad part is that there's just an insane amount of junk on TikTok that you
Of
just
course.
to sift through all the noise and find some good frequencies
Mm.
is a task. And I
And
think
I mean,
hopefully,
there's other ethical problems I think with that kind of
yeah,
like with the social media in general, of course, but
yeah,
like with TikTok, it's just like this, being famous for like a second or a minute. It's that's their, I think
yeah,
that's their like their approach to getting
Yeah.
people to stay on their platform
Yeah. Yeah.
is
Yeah.
that they get viral, like for at least for a moment they're like, oh, they've seen my video, but
Yeah.
is it giving anything? I don't know, you know.
No.
Uh,
Yeah, it's a short-term sort of
yeah,
adrenaline rush, and that's it. And
yeah,
yeah, it's definitely got negative
yeah.
sort of psychological, long-term psychological impacts, I
Mm,
think,
mm,
with what's happening with the current generation.
mm.
Yeah, that's another topic.
Yeah, yeah, that's another topic. I
Yeah,
said
yeah.
sorry,
No, no,
I
no.
took a
No, I was
tangent.
just curious because I wanted to know what kind of platforms you're on.
Yeah.
I'm still, like I said, I'm still tinkering. I'd still like to post stuff on TikTok if I feel that it's hitting the right. If it's like, if I get, I don't know, even 3 subscribers who are musicians and interested, I
Mm,
would be like, yeah, okay, maybe they're keen to listen to me, so I would post on
mm,
TikTok.
mm,
Um, but yeah, if I had some random teenager just kind of
mm,
mm, putting hearts on a video, which or no feedback, that's the other thing
mm.
also.
Yeah.
People don't comment or give
Mm,
genuine feedback. Even I try to push my own friends, like these are like
yeah.
buddies of mine,
Yeah.
who will text me and say, oh, what's this, and I'm like, write on the YouTube video, don't write
Yeah.
to me on my personal chat. And they won't
Yeah.
write, even though
Yeah.
they're making fun of me. I'm like, just whatever it is, just
Yeah, just right
it
there
helps
instead.
the algorithm, just put it
Yeah.
down. So it's
Oh,
we're kind of I think, yeah, I belong to a different generation of people who
yeah,
are way more
that
introverted.
might be a problem also.
Yeah.
That they're like they're not hanging. Maybe they're not hanging out on YouTube, so it's not
Yeah.
natural to write in the
Yeah.
in the chat there. So,
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. But yeah, all the ins and outs of struggling artists.
mm.
That's what it is.
But that's a thing. Like uh, yeah, I don't know where I'm heading with the social media thing. Like I'm getting the feeling that I will probably keep going with the live streaming things that I've been
Hmm.
doing. I haven't had a lot of people there, but I think it's such a fun experience when someone's actually there
Yeah.
uh, and chatting and like, oh, that sounds cool, and then I'm like, oh, should we do this? So it's like this semi collaborative thing,
And this is
which
on
is
Twitch.
no, this is on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Okay.
Yeah, so I some of these I think that the beat contest thing was actually a live. I think I did live.
Okay.
So um, yeah, so I think I will keep doing that and probably keep going with my music and the remix videos that I'm doing. But I'm having a hard time believing that I will, you know, go to do TikTok and things. I don't feel the urge. At least it just takes up so much time and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It does. Anything you wanna like share with younger audiences? Anything that you wanna kind of from the learning so far?
Mm.
Some takeaways for newbies.
Yeah, to me it's like just YouTube is a great resource,
Yeah.
as many of us know by now. I feel like if you're new to any DAW, you should just look up if you're into house music, just look up how to do make a basic house track in Reaper or something. Just
Yeah.
look it up and just start making things. And uh, also don't be a perfectionist. I think that's
Mm.
a lesson that we all need to learn at some point because at least to me, I can't, I I couldn't. It would destroy my music. I feel like if I was a perfectionist, if I just sat down and was like, oh no, this frequency, blah blah blah, doesn't
Mm.
work. I need to do this and this. It wouldn't work for me. So I think that be less of a perfectionist is something that I would want to say to upcoming uh, artists or anyone who starts with music. Should think about that. Just have fun
Yeah.
and
I think
yeah.
that's a lesson I need to learn. I'm a bit like that. I get so bogged down into the details, and It really is. It limits your work. It limits your progress on
But
whatever it is you can achieve.
but it is an interesting thing to think about, because I do believe that you need to get into the details,
Yeah.
like of the music and the production and all of that. You really need to get there. But if, especially if you're new like me, then I feel it's just better to put out uh, content, if you're not releasing it, just for yourself at least, that you're making things and becoming better. Uh, and Because I do believe I probably will become more and more um, picky with things as time goes. You know, I'm starting to get that feeling right now when I'm producing. I'm like, what am I going to do now? Okay, let's fiddle around with automation, and oh,
Mm,
this doesn't sound as I want to. I need to center the bass a bit more, and
mm,
so it's starting to,
yeah.
uh, but it's, in a sense, it feels like a more natural thing. Uh, I've been producing a lot, so it's not weird if I get in a rut, or what it's called, like
Yeah.
if I don't produce as much, because yeah. But I think that's I yeah, don't be a perfectionist. Have fun.
Yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, on that note, it's a good place to end. 16% Sumo, is that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
correct? That's a really cool
That's
name. Yeah, I should have
it's
asked
a
you.
yeah.
What's the story behind that? Let's take that actually. We
You-
should have done this in
you-
the beginning, but yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
on a low,
No,
yeah.
it's a weird story, I guess. Or it isn't weird, it's just pretty random. I was in Stockholm playing with a project called Kloster, which is another band that I'm playing with. Not a lot. I mean, we meet each other like once or twice a year or
Okay,
something. I'll send you a track with that also, just so you can listen.
sure.
Um, but we were in Stockholm, and then my friend was like, "Oh, you need to try this." It was like a soda that he was super hyped about, which is, it has a lot of yeah, it's just a very tasty kind of soda.
Hmm.
Uh, and I was like, okay. And then I grabbed it, and this was really good, and it was really good. And then on it, it said 16% ZUMO with like a Z, and
Yeah.
I think that means 16% fruit juice or something.
Uh-huh.
That it contains 16% fruit, like,
Right.
and I was like, yeah, if I change that to an S, it becomes sumo,
Yeah.
and that's a name, you know.
Nice. Yeah.
so, so
Yeah.
nothing more. It wasn't that pretentious or anything. I was like, I'll change that letter, and
Yeah.
and that's a name.
That's
And I
it's a
thought
cool
I
name.
thought it yeah, I thought it looked cool. Like when I wrote it down, it looked. I like to combine, uh, numbers and letters.
Yeah.
It also makes the name more original and searchable, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, so that's the
Yeah.
story behind the name.
Interesting. Yeah, it was a cool name. So it's now that I have now I know where the name comes from. It's really cool. Awesome, man. Um,
Cool.
cool. I think this was good.
This was a lot of fun, I have to say. I would
Yeah.
totally do another podcast at some point
Yeah.
if you feel like it's.
It'll be nice to listen back and say and sometimes you regret like I said I would never get on TikTok or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah. And also for me, it will be fun to listen to my awkward English also. So that's I
No,
need
I
to
was
work on
fine.
that.
No, I was totally fine. I think we're all perfect here with whatever we're speaking.
Mm,
We're speaking music. That's what we're speaking
mm.
here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool, man.
Mm.
I will sign you off and yeah.
Yeah, and I'll send you future also. And listen, you can listen to that beat also that I sent you. I sent via WeTransfer,
Okay.
so it should be on your in your inbox.
Okay.
Um, but I'll send you that as well. Uh, and yeah, and let me know if you put this up on. Maybe I can listen to it first before you put it up or something. Yeah, this was a lot of fun, dude.
Cool, man.
I'll see ya.
Take care, man.
Bye.
Bye.